iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's take a look at some news and notes, talk a little WBC, and then, of course, we will get to our Texas Rangers preview. And our previews are coming to an end. I will be doing the Rangers today, and then I'm heading out to Tout Wars this weekend, and I'll finish Toronto and Washington early next week. So we've come a long way together. But Brad Boxberger, not healthy, dealing with a lat injury. So if there's anything that we can say, I think it's that Alex Colome's job is very secure in Tampa. I always thought it was secure. I really like him this year. I think you can get him slightly undervalued in drafts this year. And I would highly encourage you going out to get him. I don't think Boxberger's ever going to be the guy we saw a couple of years ago. I don't know why. Just something tells me that that's not going to happen. Now, I'm praying that the Rays don't trade Colomé because I think he could be their closer there for a while. So let them be patient. Let him be their guy. All right, Jung Ho Kang, there's no way he's making it to opening day. So here's the deal. He hasn't even arrived in Bradenton. He's trying to get a work visa, and from what we understand is he's going to need 30 days from the time he gets the visa to the time he's ready to play. So right now, we got nothing. I'm thinking June 1. So I like Gung. I do. But I'm not taking him any time before like a reserve round pick at this point because I don't know what we can expect from him. David Freese will play third base. Josh Bell will play first base. And we'll wait for Gung to come back. That's the plan. Steven Strasburg is going to be the opening day starter for the Nationals. I have no problem with that. We knew Max Scherzer wasn't, and I think Max Scherzer is going to get the third game. So I think the rotation is going to be Strasburg 1, Gio 2, Scherzer 3, Tanner Roark 4. That looks to be the plan. I want to talk just very briefly about the WBC. Congratulations to the United States of America for winning. And I've got to say the WBC was pretty darn good this year. Now, I was a skeptic. I really didn't like it in terms of I didn't want to see any injuries. But I've got to say, no thanks to Americans, but I got to give credit to the world. Venezuela, the DR, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Mexico, Japan, Korea. These countries really got into it. They really got into it. That was great. I mean, you go and you watch the Japanese play, and they're always like banging and banging and banging. The Dominican fans that went to Miami, they were insane. Don't tell me that the Marlins can't succeed in Miami. If there was a Dominican national team in Miami, that team would be sold out. Dominicans love their baseball, and they came out to root. So I think the WBC can be successful. I just don't like where it is, and I think it takes up way too much time. Get me 8 teams, have an 8, comes to a 4, comes to 2, comes to 1. Let's do it over a week. Every 4 years, let's get an extra week during All-Star break, and let's do it that way. Baseball season is a grind anyway. Now, I know people won't like that because nobody wants to see anybody get hurt during the season. I get that, but it's not much better now when guys get hurt before the season starts. It's not like that's so much better. Right? I don't think that's a plus. But, kudos to Marcus Stroman. He looked great. Ian Kinsler hits a home run. I mean, Eric Hosmer played well. Adam Jones played well. McCutchen played well. The American team played very well. And there were guys who didn't do anything. Nolan Arenado, practically nothing. Bregman didn't even play. Right? But it was a great event. And that's what I think we can look at and say, this really was a great event, and I think it was successful. I will look back on the WBC and believe it was successful. And I think people who were there got hyped up about it. They really were. So Congratulations on another good tournament, and I'll see you in 4 years. And what I do like about the tournament, I will say this, one last thing. It helps me learn about the Japanese guys. There are a bunch of those guys that will be over here. The Korean guys. There are guys that we don't know about that we should, who will be over in the major leagues pretty darn soon. Pretty darn soon. All right, let's get to the Texas Rangers podcast. So let's start it out at catcher with Jonathan Lucroy. I am a big Jonathan Lucroy fan. Now, here's the interesting thing. Buster Posey will go around round 3. I would not take him. I'd rather wait till round 5 and take Lucroy. Look, they're very similar players. Maybe Posey's a little better. Maybe he's a little better, but for a 2-round difference, why not just take Lucroy? For my money, I'm not going to spend a 3rd-round pick on Posey or a 3rd or 4th-round pick on Sanchez. I'll wait for Lucroy and take him. I won't take Lucroy in round 4. Not a chance. But if he's there in round 5, I'm interested. I'm interested. At first base, I really think Mike Napoli could have a decent season. I do. Something tells me this guy could have a decent season. He's in a really solid lineup, and I think they're going to give him the at-bats. I do. I think they're going to give him the at-bats. I don't think James Loney is very good if he even makes a team. Profar I like, but he has to back up a bunch of positions. Joey Gallo, not Jerry Callow, Joey Gallo. Who knows where he's going to play? But I think Mike Napoli could get 500 at-bats. If he can, really sneaky player at the end of a draft. Look, Jose Abreu is going to go in like round 5 or round 6. So let me look at it this way. What is Jose Abreu going to give me at first base? Right? I'm going to look at the rankings here, and I'm going to give you my projections at first base. Jose Abreu, right? Let's say 290, 26 home runs, 90 RBIs, 70 runs scored. Mike Napoli is going to hit 240, so it's the batting average, but he's going to hit about 27 home runs, 80 RBIs, and 60 runs scored. So outside the batting average, these guys are very much the same. Very much the same, except Napoli is going to go in round 15, and Jose Abreu is going to go in round 5 or 6. So what do you think is better? Really, what do you think is better? People are overpaying for Jose Abreu. I'm not. No interest. I will overpay for Ronette Odor. The dude's 23. He's 23. And he's getting better. And we saw power. I think the average can go up. And I think the stolen bases can go up. He only had 14 last year. He was caught stealing 7 times. What if he had 20 this year? He's a really good pick. Love him in the 3rd round of drafts. And I would certainly pay for him. Here's the problem with these next 2 players in the infield. I'm going to go back to that list I had for you here, and I'm going to shock you. I'm going to shock you with 2 players. Okay? And I'm going to write it down. Right? Let me write it down because I want to make sure that I'm accurate. All right. Player number 1, I'm going to say 266, 661, 80, and 25. All right? Here's the other one. Great. Here we go. You ready? I got it for you. So give me a second. Here we go. Player number 1 hitting 266. Player number 2 hitting 263. Player number 1, 6 home runs. Player number 2, 5. Player number 1, 60 RBIs. Player number 2, 50. Player number 1, 80 runs scored. Player number 2, 70. Player number 1, 25 stolen bases. Player number 2, 20. Player number 1 was Elvis Andrus. Player number 2, Alcides Escobar. Think of that. Alcides Escobar is almost Elvis Andrus. But Elvis Andrus, some idiot in your draft is going to pay $9 for him, while Alcides Escobar goes for $1. Come on. Those numbers are practically the same. Is it worth for 10 RBIs and 10 runs scored and 5 stolen bases to pay $8? No chance, Sundance. No way. I think Elvis Andrus is absolutely, unequivocally overrated. Here's another one. Ready? Please hold. I'm going to write this one down. And And I'm going to be very right about this one. All right? And I'm going to go, I'll do this guy. All right, I'll do this guy. Ready? I think this guy is very interesting. We'll go that. We'll go that. We'll go that. Okay, ready? Player number 1. He will hit 295. 20 home runs, 85 RBIs, 80 runs scored, no stolen bases. Player number 2 is going to hit 256, 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, 70 runs scored, and 1 stolen base. So outside of the average, the players are practically the same. Player number 1, Adrian Beltre. Player number 2, Mike Moustakas. That's right, Mike Moustakas. Beltre goes in round 5 of drafts. Mike Moustakas goes in round 15. So, in real life, do I like the Rangers? Sure. In fantasy, do I like them? Not so much. I love Odor. I love Lucroy. But Beltre and Andrus are good players, but they're more living on their names. Don't draft names, draft statistics. Okay? Here's another name of a guy I don't want. Shin-Soo Choo. This guy's not very good. The average has been declining. The speed is declining. He's always been injured. Zero interest in this guy. Zero. In the outfield, they have Jurickson Profar, who's I'm intrigued by because he can play so many positions, but is he a left fielder? Is he a third baseman? Is he a first baseman? Who knows what he is? I like Ryan Rua against lefties, but I don't love him. Delino DeShields Jr., you can't steal first base, dude. I'll give you the 2 guys I like. One is Carlos Gomez, and Carlos Gomez killed me. He absolutely killed me 2 years ago in the FSTA draft. I took him 8th overall. He was an abomination. And he's been bad for like the last 2 years. But at the end of last year, he started to play a little bit better. So do I think that he could come here and be good in Texas? I do. Do I think he can go 2020? Yes. Do I think you can get a value on him this year? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think Carlos Gomez is the kind of guy that goes for like $10 in a draft and he can give you $20 of value. I like him very much. Nomar Mazara is interesting. This guy started out really good last year. He's 21, but he plays like a guy who's like 30. That's how good he is. But doesn't hit lefties very well, right? And he strikes out way too much. He struck out like 20% of the time last year and can't hit a lefty. So here's the problem with Mazara. If Mazara was on the Tampa Bay Rays, you could let him figure it out on the job. But because the Rangers are going to be competing, I can't let this guy continue to kill me against lefties. So what he's going to do is he's going to get a shot the first month or so to hit lefties. And if he can't, he'll be a platoon player. So be careful with Mazara. I'll bid on him. I like him. But I'm not going to bid heavily on him because I'm afraid that there's a chance that he could turn into being a platoon player. So I'll be in on the bidding, but I'm not going to be bidding high on him. I just don't trust him. All right, speaking of a guy I don't trust Sam Dyson. I don't care what Sean Childs tells me, and I respect Sean Childs as much as anybody in this industry. He's a beast. And he tells me Sam Dyson's not a soft tosser. That's fine. But he struck out 55 guys in 70 innings, and I don't trust that. I like strikeouts in the bullpen. I do. And moreover, managers like strikeouts in the bullpen. So I'm not saying Dyson won't be successful. I'm saying I won't have any part of him. Because I think the first closers to lose their jobs are the closers who don't strike guys out. Because managers want to see strikeouts in the 9th inning. That's what they want to see. And I think Dyson's not that guy. Now, the other reason is Jeremy Jeffress, Matt Bush. These are guys who have real ability. And Jeffress has closed before for the Brewers, and Matt Bush looks like he could close right now. And Keone Kela, this guy's another guy who throws hard. So I don't think the Rangers are going to give Dyson the longest leash ever. I think they'll give him a decent leash, but if he doesn't do it, they'll yank him. They'll yank him. So I'm in on Dyson, but yeah, not that much. I'd rather do $1 for Matt Bush at the end of the draft. I think he's the backup closer. I think Jeffress is too valuable as the effector. All right, the starting rotation. So there are guys I want no part of. I want no part of A.J. Griffin. He hasn't been good since like 2013. Tyson Ross is very good, but I worry about this guy. This guy had a great year back in 2014, had a good year in 2015, but he's been hurt. He's got a bad shoulder. So the Rangers signed him, didn't give him a lot of money, $6 million, and said, hey, prove it. I think Tyson Ross is super interesting in the reserve round. He won't be on any of my teams, but if somebody took him in the reserve round, I think that'd be a very good pick. Because if he does resurface and play well, he is very good. Martin Perez is their number 3 starter there. This guy just doesn't get enough strikeouts. Bad for a total strikeout league. Bad for a KIP. I mean, he will get wins because this is a good team with a good bullpen, but he's not a very good pitcher. But the Rangers do have 2 excellent pitchers. The first is Yu Darvish. I mean, Yu Darvish is special. Now, he's coming off of an injury, right? Only threw 100 innings last year. But when Yu Darvish was good, do you remember how many strikeouts he had? I mean, guys couldn't touch him. But he's had issues. Tommy John surgery, shoulder issues, neck issues. So I think this year represents a possible discount on Yu Darvish. If you could get Yu Darvish at an auction for $25, I'd be in on it. Would I spend $35? Probably not, but I'd spend $25. But I think you could get him at a 10% discount this year, which would be very nice. Okay, so take a look at him. Cole Hamels, I'm debating. Now, Cole Hamels has been a model of consistency. Since 2008, 227, 193, 208, 216, 215, 220, 204, 212, 200. I mean, that's a lot of innings. But here was the magic number last year that I didn't like. 77 walks. 77 walks. That doesn't make me happy. Doesn't make me happy. He's been letting up more home runs the last couple of years, letting up more walks. Is it a case of a guy who's 33 who has a lot of wear and tear? Or did he just have a bad year? Or I don't know what. I know this. I'm probably not going to have him on any of my teams. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a good pitcher. I do. I just don't think I'm going to have him on my teams. Because if the decline is beginning, I want no part of that decline. So here's what I'll tell you with Hamels. Pay for Hamels, but don't overpay for Hamels. Bidding goes 18, I'm fine. Bidding goes 19, I'm fine. Bidding goes 20, I'm out. That's how I'm looking at it. I'll be in on Cole Hamels, but not that far in. Don't go crazy. Guy's 33, the walks are higher, the home runs are higher. These are things I don't want to see. The whip was 1.31 last year. What if it's 1.4? That'll kill you. You want no part of that. So be careful with Cole Hamels. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I want to encourage you, please, if your drafts are this weekend, next week, whenever, join scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO. That's ROTO. You pay for 1 month. We get you 2 more for free. It's not too late. Read Sean Childs' team outlooks. Read my Fantasy in a Nutshell series. Listen to these podcasts. Read Adam Ronis' player profiles. Get into the message boards. Be a member of the Scout Army. Be part of something that's terrific. And it costs $12 for 3 months. That's $4 a month. That's $1 a week. Oh my God, I can't believe they're charging that much for me. That's ridiculous. They should be charging like 20,000 times that amount. I'm going to help you win your league. It's how we roll. All right, guys, I'm off to Tout Wars. I'll be back next week. Good luck at your drafts if you're having them this weekend. Do well, but more importantly, be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!